Lovely. So I can see the number of participants going up massively. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to New Year, New You. And I'm just going to keep chatting briefly while I see the number of participants going up as you all start to join. It's just so lovely to have this opportunity to meet with you and to share some thoughts and ideas as we come into 2026. So I can see the numbers still ticking up. I'm just going to hang on one more minute just to allow everybody in. Those of you who are already on the call, please use the chat to tell us where you're dialing in from. It's always lovely to get a sense. I know these online programs always attract such a global audience. Fantastic. So we've got already all sorts of different places. I'm seeing Singapore, I'm seeing Delhi, Portugal, Zambia, California, Kenya, Japan. Already so many different locations. It's really lovely. So I think we are going to kick off, and I'm sure more people will be joining us, and I know that there will be recordings available as well. So, good afternoon and welcome to New Year, New You. Insights from Oxford's 50,000 plus online programme Elumni. It's a real pleasure to have you with us at the start of the year, a moment when many leaders are reflecting on where they are headed next. Let me just say a few words of housekeeping. Today's session is being recorded and a link will be shared with all the registered participants after the webinar. Please use the Q&A function to submit your questions for me and the panelists as we go through the session, and welcome you to type in things as we're talking and as ideas come to you. We'll address as many as we can. We'll maybe take some of them live, and we've also got a Q&A session towards the end. The chat is also open for general conversation and discussion. So what about me? Some of you might know me, a lot of you won't. I'm Karen Hands. I'm head tutor on the Oxford Women's Leadership Development Programme, and I work closely with women from all over the world, navigating moments of transition, stepping into broader leadership roles, recalibrating, finding their ambition or rediscovering their ambition sometimes, and redefining what impact looks like at different stages of their career. I'm an engineer by background, and I've been involved with the Women's Leadership Programme since it began in 2019. So why does the 50,000 milestone matter to me? Well, it's remarkable how many people have experienced the online learning with Oxford Saïd Business School. And behind that headline, there are thousands of individuals who've made a deliberate decision to invest in themselves alongside demanding professional and personal lives. I see firsthand on the women's programme how powerful that decision can be, and also how challenging it is to fit learning around full-time jobs and bringing up family and extra activities as well. But I know that investment is really worthwhile because it can build your capability and also your confidence, clarity, and momentum. So what's the purpose of today's session? Well, this conversation is about what meaningful professional growth can look like at the start of a new year, how learning might support your reflection, your forward motion, and real-world leadership impact. We're also delighted to offer you 20% discount. This is to mark our £50,000 Elumni milestone and also the start of 2026. And we're able to offer attendees a 20% fee reduction on certain of our Oxford Saïd Online programmes. And we'll share more details of that. A colleague will talk you through that before we finish. So that's enough of the welcome. It's lovely to see so many of you on the programme already. And I'm now going to go over to the panelists to introduce themselves. And I'm going to work my way around my screen. So Ellen, perhaps I can start with you.
Thank you, Karen. Hey, everyone. My name is Ellen Gietza. I'm based in Germany. I'm 31 years old, and I am a business coordinator for a software company. I did my Oxford course 2 years ago for women in leadership, and I'm very excited to be part of today's webinar. So stay tuned, it will be very cool.
Thank you so much. Louisa, can I turn to you next?
Yes, hello from Italy. I am Luisa Forestali. I am the go-to-market director of Garden and Resort, which is part of Merlin Entertainment. I'm based in Italy, but I work with all nationalities around the world. And I'm proud and honored to say that I attended 7 executive master during the year starting 2021, because I think they are simply great and you need to add even more.
Wonderful. Thanks, Louisa. And then William.
Hi, everyone. William Chan from Hong Kong. Now it is 10 p.m. Hong Kong time. Happy to see everyone over the world. I over 30 years experience in financial management. Recently, I work as a head of finance Asia Pacific of a Shooter Group. Shooter Group is a Switzerland company, electronic component company. I also CIMA, Chartered Institute of Management Accountant Council member. So by profession, I'm a CPA and CMA. And yeah, in the past 10 years, or almost every year, I will pick some course, either physical or online to get more new insights. So I'm happy that I start 2 courses, online course with Oxford Executive Program. I will share more later. Hi.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, William. And as I mentioned earlier, as we're going along, if there are questions that arise based on what we're talking about, please post them in the Q&A box. We'll keep an eye on that, and we may well turn to your questions live rather than waiting for the Q&A session towards the end. So let's begin this program with getting started. This is all about a fresh beginning. So I'm curious to know from our panelists, what inspired you to begin your leadership journey with Oxford? Why did Oxford stand out, and what caused you to come here for your learning? Louisa, perhaps I can turn to you first, please.
Yes, with pleasure. New Year, New Youth, I think it's a good claim, because I was in a moment of my life where I had a new role within the innovation department, and somehow I was clear that there was a little confusion in the company and outside the company what innovation is. So I was really searching for an institution and university able to give me that insight. And it was during the pandemic, so I had the time and the possibility to plan my learning journey. Oxford intercepted me. Let's say I liked the way the courses were presented. I found them very clear. And I also get, even before starting, a touch of the values that they try to spread among the leaders around the world. And it was a match, I say. And also the possibility to learn with a community and with people around the world was something that was very, very important to me. And also the way that the learning journey is organized with the modules, and very clear with the right balance between challenge and gratification, let's say. And also the fact that you have many possibilities to interact, even if it is remote, because you have the forum, you have a great tutor, you have other leader. And at the end, the most surprising thing was that there was a very big human touch, and it was really a life-changing experience for me, honestly.
Wow, that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much for giving us that broad view of, what worked for you. Ellen, perhaps I can turn to you next. Why were you drawn to the Oxford program?
So, when I began a new role as a facilitator for an international company, I was quite young, and I realized that I'm having the motivation to become a better leader in this position, but I was lacking of skills. And my manager back then, he was coming from UK himself. He told me that Oxford is creating these wonderful experiences for students who would like to learn remotely. And I went to the website, I found a couple of courses, and the first one that really got my interest was the Women in Leadership course that I also then attended. And for me, specifically Oxford, it's a name of prestige, but also again, my manager was from UK and he was also speaking very beautiful about this. And I just wanted to sharpen my perspective, to strengthen what I already brought to the table, but also to gain new skills and distinguish between, what different types of leadership personalities I can bring to the table. And yeah, it was not about a certificate. It was about becoming more confident, and that's what the leadership course definitely brought to me. So, yeah.
Definitely, and I'm sure we'll be discussing that a bit further as we go through. And William, how about you? What brought you to Oxford?
Yes, as mentioned, I have quite a lot of experience in financial management, but recently, I think one topic is coming up is ESG and sustainability. And I look around, there's not much. I mean, 2 years ago, not much. It's a textbook about it, and also uh, there is quite a lot of sustainability costs, but when related to the finance and reporting, this is not much, frankly speaking. And also, since I'm also a senior member, so when I come across that, okay, Oxford plus SIMA create this sustainability and finance strategy program, which is really wonderful. So no doubt, I just go in and then I take the first, actually the first pilot of the program. So after the first course, last year, another program coming out, which is called ESG and data management, sustainability reporting and data management. Again, so I have no hesitation and then to enroll and also the first pilot to join. So which is very fruitful experience and also got a lot of international perspective. Yeah, I can share more later. So this is very unique course, I can say globally. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And perhaps I can just take a show of hands from the panel. Was the Oxford program that you attended first your first experience of online learning? Who says yes to that? Yeah, okay, interesting. So, Ellen, did you have any hesitations about starting something online?
Yes, indeed. I back then moved also to a new house. I started my new role. I had two dogs at home, and I wasn't sure if I could manage the time between the new role, but also, gaining new learning experiences. But I also received some support from the customer service team. There is a department actually that you can call if you have questions that can also support you with it. And as soon as I began working on the program, I quickly realized that it is indeed very well structured. So you can do it not only from home, but you can also get the lectures, whatever, when you're doing a walk with your dogs or whatever, just listen to them because you will get the video, you will get a transcript, you will get everything in written form. And it is so holistically built that you're not only watching and writing yourself, but also need to collaborate with other peers, which makes the experience even better and even, it just grows within itself. It's just very nice. So yes, time was a thing, but afterwards it was definitely something very well structured that was worth it and functioned very well with my time.
Fantastic. And perhaps I can turn to you, Louisa. Looking back now, what surprised you most when you first began your program? What was it about the experience that
Yeah,
struck you?
what surprised me most was how quick and how much I could get for me from the other alumni and from the tutor, and how much I could give them back. Because sometimes you don't realize how powerful your experience is, and that your point of view can add values to project of other people. And the way that the Oxford courses are built are exactly following these sharing learning models. So it's really an investment of time, but everyone can judge for how much to invest more in terms of sharing. For example, we had regular meetings in groups, sharing experience, especially during the leadership program. And this was something that was totally unexpected to me. And it was done and built and led in a very professional yet friendly way. I always felt I'm valued, and this gives you self-confidence too. And of course, it's not a problem as I thought, the language, because you get the possibility to see the material, you have the transcript of the videos, and you get the additional benefit that week by week you improve your English language too. So it's not a barrier. Please don't consider it as a barrier, on the contrary. And this is a takeout that I immediately implemented in my working life and routine. This sharing, this learning together, because you are really quicker and you get true inclusion in your project, in your way of thinking. That was, again, a part of the life-changing experience I mentioned below before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're sort of now really talking about the, once you get into the program. So, William, I wonder if I could turn to you next to just say a bit about what the learning experience is like. What stays with you from your experience online?
Yes, as I think I can do it as my own pace of work. As I think quite a lot of participants in this webinar, you are a senior executive or you have a busy schedule. I think it is very important that we can learn at our own pace. That's number one. Number two, to me, for this wonderful online program, time zone is not a barrier to us. Now, even in Hong Kong, the time zone difference is very narrowed down. So it is very wonderful. The first thing it is, I always appreciate the coverage. I mean, the coverage from the different geographical area and jurisdictions, so that it broadened my perspective. As I mentioned, like the ESG sustainability reporting strategy, this is a new thing, and I can hear more from Europe or from Africa or from Asia, know what is the development and how do they apply into their companies. So it is really wonderful. So that is the reason why after finishing the first course, I go straight to the second one. Yeah, it is really good experience.
Fantastic. That's a really good vote of confidence, isn't it? So, Ellen, perhaps I can turn to you next. What helped you to stay motivated to stick with the program? Because we all know life gets busy.
Yes, indeed. Well, I don't want to, already repeat what I said, but what definitely made me stick with it has been also the grading system. So you received grades not only, for finalizing the core, like the different sections, but also writing your homeworks, but also collaborating with other people. That was the very first time that I saw something like this, that the collaboration also gets kind of graded, which motivated me because it's not only about strict learning, writing, reading, listening, but it's indeed having live experience with people that are just also all thriving to get the new knowledge as you do. So this was very interesting for me, and this kept me motivated. Yeah.
Fantastic. Really, really good. And I see we've had a question come in through the webinar chat about proportions of students coming from different backgrounds, commercial, public sector, charities, social enterprises. I mean, we get definitely participants from all of those sectors on well represented, certainly on the women's program. Louisa, did you have a sense of where people were coming from on the programs, because you've done so many? What's your sense of
Yeah, yes.
participants?
Also, it depends on the program, of course, but over the years, I've seen that the sectors variety and geographies variety, in my opinion, is increasing. And I did personally network with Brazil, for example, or Africa or whatever. So it was the only thing I noticed, there were not so many Italians in my course, but for me it was fine because I know Italy, and I was keen to get insight from as William said, it is really powerful because especially when you talk about innovation or finance or digital, is massively a learning experience if you figure out how other countries are, especially if you are building marketing strategy. You have to have a sense how the situation is. And during the course, there are also occasions to talk, to have live webinar, and then you meet your international cohort, and you get a sense. And you also have the possibility to see, there is a map when you log in. You can see where the other people are. And at the very starting of the program, everyone is presenting in a forum, let's say. And so to me, it's, in my personal experience, is that I think all the world is represented in the and I really also had the possibility to close some friendship, and we are still in contact. So yeah, to me, it's very, very international, and I cannot tell you the percentage exactly, but I would say that at least that the majority is outside UK, probably.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
own
my
the
sense.
data, but it's my estimation, let's say.
Yeah, that's my sense as well. And maybe the technical people on the call can answer that for us as well. And I'm also noticing that we have the opportunity to ask participants a poll about which, if any, of the Oxford Online programs that the people listening in have completed. So if there's a possibility for us to post that in the chat, that would be really good, just to get a sense of who's with us now we're really talking about the content of the program. So William, I mean, how does the flexibility of the online format help you to negotiate learning and working?
Yes, I think I can choose the time that flexible to me to do the self-learning. I mean, the video and also the material, and I can do it either night time or weekend. Probably more time on the weekend, so I can do some of the assignment. But one thing I just want to mention is that I like the design of the assignment. It is not theoretical. It is really relevant to the work. I mean, the assignment build up is case. It is like the one layer, and then you go to the second layer, and then at the end, you can do a sort of a presentation to your company. So it's really help out in terms of the assignment. So I find that it is a lot boring to, because I also teach part-time in Hong Kong for some of the course. I found, yeah, this is something that, okay, I learned from it. I can use this kind of the technique when I do some of the teaching in my hometown. Yeah. Flexibility in terms of the time zone, flexibility in terms of the location. Even though if I travel or I have a holiday, I can still do it. So this is really wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. And I wonder if we're going some way towards answering Carol's question in the webinar chat as well, based in the US, and just questioning whether the time difference is an issue. And between the tutors, the assessors, the teams that the people like me that as head tutor are working with, we can be from all over the world. The platform itself is there 24/7. And it becomes something which we'd call asynchronous. So you might type a post and it might take another 6 or 12 or 24 hours before your tutor or some of the other participants have the opportunity to reply. But by the time you log in again, there will be something, and you can, keep growing and learning as the whole process continues. And it is, as everyone has said, very flexible in terms of you choose the time you want to work, and everything is there for you, and then keep checking back in and seeing how the conversation is developing. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
one point I want to add, it is sometimes I may not join the tutorial, but it is one thing that the tutorial is recorded. So I still don't miss those recorded tutorials. So it is another good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And let's perhaps turn to the next sort of stage of this process then. So you have come on these programs and you've learned a whole lot. So how do we now turn that impact into action? And I was hoping I might turn to you first, Ellen, about that, because I know you have been shaping things and changing things since you joined the program.
Yes, indeed. Many of the things that I learned from the different units, I could directly apply in my role. If it was about, for example, even negotiating, this was something that I was always scared about. But, approaching new roles always means to, do a step forward as well. And this is what I did for the very first time, and I was successful because I learned so many great, not only the terminology of things that I need to use in order to negotiate proper, but also the way of doing it. And I've been successful with this. The different leadership styles, but also the self-awareness about what you can and cannot. And I remember that it was not about strength and weaknesses. It was about strength and, what was it, potential strength, something like this. So it was positively stated instead of weaknesses. So everything in this course gave me so much confidence, as I stated before, but it's not about bland learning and reading and, doing like writing down. It brings so much empathy to the table that you really feel understood. It's about, deep feelings like about anxiety. So what if I approach a new role? How do I speak to people? I don't know if that 100% answers your question. I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away. But yeah, I hope I
Yeah,
answered.
Yeah,
absolutely. So you've taken learning and
Oh
actually
yeah.
applied it to getting a new job.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
go
Karen,
on, Louisa.
definitely. Yes. Yes.
Karen, if I can, I would really uh, summarize what Ellen said, because it's the same I felt. There is a safe environment in which you can do a lot of self-reflection and come out with clearer idea. And it's a journey. You have to put your effort on it, but the more you put in, the most you get out. It's really a virtual place where things happen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, Louisa, would you say there's been something specific that has come from the learning from the one or more of the programs that you could say, yeah, I actually applied that and this was the result back at work?
Uh, Generally speaking, absolutely yes. I can tell you that in 4 years, I made 2 or 3 career steps without any difficulties and in a very natural way. But there are particularly 2 moments of truth for me. One was with the very first course, where I was clear how to organize from scratch an innovation department. And I really had the instrument along the course and even after on what I had to do. And For example, part of the course was also interviewing the stakeholder. And the second part is for me also the leadership, where the leadership course, where I learned how you get many instruments, but you get a method. And what it is still with me is that you need to adapt to the context, also your way of leadership, and you can allow yourself to be authentic, not to follow a standard. So during the course, you have a journey, you discover your potential and also what you didn't unlock, as Ellen said before, and you grow with your teams and the teams grows with you, and it's a journey that never stops. That's what I took out from the course of the leadership.
Yeah, there's that phrase lifelong learning, isn't there? I mean, William, how does that relate to your experience of coming through the two programs that you've done?
Yes, I will say in two perspectives. One, it is related to the work. I think I equate certain depth or certain information and knowledge so that I can communicate with the other professionals in this perspective. So, and also it gives me a wider scope. As previously mentioned, not only in Asia as perspective, also from the European, the standard, the regulation. So it should really help. The second thing, it is because of the material, it is not only some slides or some video, they also have a long list of the further readings. So I can based on this, help my understanding, and also it helped me to do some teaching, as I mentioned. So I get the benefit for both work and also teaching. So yeah, it is good. And also another good thing is the tutors' responses on the assignment. They really provide really good, solid comments, not like two sentences. Really good, and then it helped the thoughts and also the learning. So I find it is super professional. I don't know whether Louise and Ellen, you find it. I think the tutor's comment is really out of my expectation.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, William. At the very beginning, I also interact with other students, let's say, and we were a little bit worried about our grades, but we got the answer that the grades are not important, and sometimes they just give us, let's say, they are like a challenge to overcome, and the quality of the assignment, of the answers of the tutors, and the fact that you have to respect word count, all of this is training you in becoming a true leader, because leadership and leading, innovating is also how you communicate and how effective you are. And you can explain things when there is a lot of preparation. And I think that all the person, the professor or the tutor I met for our work class. So this helps you in becoming even better. And every word has a value in this interaction. So this is really high quality. I wasn't used to that much, and it's something I appreciated a lot, of course. But this was, for me, is the Oxford brand, let's say. That, yeah.
That's really good to hear, Louisa. I can't, I can't speak for other programs, but I know that that is the ethos definitely on the women's program, that we're here to help. And, we are very much wanting people to both get insights from what we're teaching quite broadly in terms of their personal development, but also in terms of assisting you to do well in your assignments. And as you so rightly said, Louisa, we don't want to put you off talking about assignments here. These might be 500 words or something like that, something really short, just to demonstrate that you can take what you've learned from each module and relate it to the situation that you're in and apply it appropriately. And so, the assessing is done in quite a coaching style. They are trying to put themselves in your shoes and understand where you are and how relevant all of this is, and try and support your learning through the process. So I'm really pleased to hear that feedback coming through. I know we always get some lovely feedback every time we run the women's program, but it's so nice to hear it for real.
Yeah, and you get trained when you have important discussion with executive board or whatever, because then from the Oxford course that time is value, and you train being appropriate to the context and at the level of conversation that it is appropriate.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Ellen, would you say that you've actually noticed people responding differently to you as a result of your learning and training and trying to do things differently?
Yeah, absolutely. I heard many times that people are surprised by the changes and that they would like to receive some tips and tricks and maybe even some mentoring. And they've all been very happy to see the growth in such a short amount of time. So I just try to influence everyone also to, try out the course and see for themselves, because you don't have to be you don't have to have some specific knowledge in the beginning to start the course. It is perfectly shaped for everyone, I would say. So, yeah.
Absolutely. We have such a mix, don't we, joining each cohort. And so, I always think that actually there is just as much learning going on between peers, between the participants through the discussion boards. You can ask each other questions, you can share experience with each other, you can offer ideas, and then build that network externally. And I think that probably takes us on to the next phase of this panel discussion here. And if any of the things we're talking about, for those of you listening in, if you've got questions about this, please don't hesitate to put them in the Q&A, and indeed on the webinar chat, whichever suits you best. But let's think about this network now that you get through the online programs. And William, perhaps can I turn to you for this one first of all? What does being a part of this global community of learners mean for you?
Yeah, I think this network, it is powerful that it is global. Yeah, and also can connect some of the professional, even particular like myself in finance and world, so we can have a good connection, not only during the course, it is also after the course. So that it is very good. And another thing, it is, I think that kind of the network, we can also exchange, like this kind of the platform, we can exchange the experience, not only the course we took previously, we can also understand other programs. So in the chat box, I saw quite a lot of participants. They did the AI, or they're going to take the AI. So probably I may reach out to them. What is the experience? Because AI course is one of the topics that I may enroll this year. So that kind of the network, it is very, very good. Yeah, and also appreciate this kind of the webinar. It is not only promoting the Oxford executive course, but it is also sometimes some industry insights or some experience sharing. This is very helpful. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm seeing quite a few people posting in the chat about programs they've either booked for or which they've completed. And I mean, if there are others of you listening in who have attended programs already, it would be really great for you to just type in the chat and just let us know how many of you are alumni or indeed alumni. Are there any of you who've been to residential programs in Oxford? That would be also really interesting to just get a sense of who's listening in. So perhaps I can come to you next, Louisa. How do you stay in contact with people you meet through the programs that you've been on?
Uh, in many ways, can be through LinkedIn or WhatsApp or just email. And there are also, when you join a executive course, probably the ones who did it know, then there are also some groups on LinkedIn, and you keep on sharing important progress, or you just write, you have this idea, what do you think, and they respond. So it's like continuing the course and continuing the network. And the power of the network is because before starting Oxford, it was something where I didn't invest so much. But then I've learned that it is such a way to quick gain knowledge and perspectives you would never achieve also if you are the number one in a field. So it became part of my working experience. I relate to this network, but it also brought me to relate to the networks in my life. It is really powerful. It's something you have to experience to deeply understand, but it's incredible. So it becomes
Fabulous.
natural to continue staying in touch. At least that was my experience.
Yeah, definitely. And you get that opportunity on the program to discuss ideas and share difficulties and overcome problems. And actually, because the programs last for a few weeks, it's not like you're coming to a residential program that's you start on Monday and you finish on Friday potentially. This is lasting for maybe 6 or 8 weeks, depending on the program. So you've got the chance to get an idea from something or something that's been sparked, and actually go out and try and implement it, come back and share with people what happened. And you're actually, you're growing and learning together.
Yeah, and it's important to say, when I mentioned the safe environment, when you enter the course, you sign, let's say, a kind of no disclosure agreement, because of course, if you talk about a project, it has to stay confident. So it's very serious on that too. And this helped me a lot to open up, because I would never discuss a project without this security. And again, it's the sign that Oxford is very, very responsible, and you can really rely on this environment.
Absolutely. That's really good. And and it's lovely to see that we've got some alumni and on the call as well. And thank you behind the scenes for explaining the difference. We've just put that E into alumni to indicate the people who've worked digitally with us. So I'm noticing the time. I think what we'd like to do next is perhaps go into some reflections and looking ahead. And if there are more questions coming through from the audience, we can spend some time answering those as well. But I'd like to perhaps come back to you, Ellen, with, what has been the biggest lesson that you've taken away from the Oxford programme for you?
I'm happy that I'm able to respond to this question. I was looking forward to it. For me, the biggest learning was indeed that, again, referring back to me being very young, but also a woman in a very man-dominated industry, I realized, and the biggest learning was that leadership is not shaped by hierarchy, but more by context. And that means for me that I'm not as scared or afraid of, older people or whatever, or with more experience, but rather I learned to gain the confidence in myself. And also, leadership also starts with self-awareness, as also the units do. With every question and every topic you pursue, you will be asked first, what is the current state of you, or what is the self-reflection? Then you get taught a couple of things, and then you do a self-reflection again where you learn something. So I would say it grows through reflection and not perfection with leadership.
I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you. And Louisa, perhaps I can ask you this question, which is, what would you say to someone considering making 2026 their year to learn with Oxford?
Um, if if you are willing to feel self-confident and better and having the feeling of creating something good for you, for your group, and for the society, you are at the right place.
Lovely. Thank you. And lovely and succinct. And William, I mean, if you could go back to the beginning, what advice would you give yourself before starting your first program with us?
Uh, I think the time management, don't, although we say the time it is flexible at our own pace, but don't underestimate uh, the requirement and the richness of the content. I can say the content is very rich, and don't although we want to learn a lot of things, but the time it is one thing. But another thing I believe I want to say it is it also gives the motivation for the continuous learning. In today's dynamic business environment, I would say continuous learning is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So it gives us the motivation with a well uh, famous and also reputable institution. It gives the momentum and encouragement. Yeah.
Lovely. That takes me into the next question, which I'm going to start with you, William, as well. So what next for you, personally or professionally, in this new year as we start 2026?
I will use three words that I always remind myself. It is learn, unlearn, and relearn. Yeah. We continue to learn, but when we go to the program, when we listen different insights or different perspective, we unlearn some of our old thoughts so that we have the capacity to relearn. So as mentioned, probably this year I will look for the AI, which is uh, to to our generation, it is something that we really need to catch up the pace. Yeah. So learn, unlearn, and relearn. Yeah.
Okay, learn, and relearn. I like it, definitely. And yeah, with a focus on AI. How about you, Louisa? What's coming for you this year, personally and or professionally?
I also, similarly to Ellen, got just promoted, and I really have a treasure, which are all the knowledge I gained, especially in the last courses at Oxford. And what does that mean? That means that along the journey, I had many ideas and many projects, and I could use the tools that you receive in the course to invest time on and strategic thinking about the project. So now I really have something that can last, I would say, for 2 years at least. And my willing is to refresh everything, to add my new knowledge, following what William has said. I learned, I learned, I will add something new. This is not something that it's one shot. It's something like a plant, this learning path. And I will use the tools again and trying to do my best to launch the project that I couldn't because there were not the conditions.
Brilliant. And Ellen, new job. What are the new possibilities for 2026 for you?
A lot, actually. I will learn so many new things. and also do another course this year. So I'm going to look what will be available in the next upcoming months, definitely to grow further. And I'd like to quote two things. One is a bit what William said. So there's this quote saying, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. And the other one is reach for the moon. And even if you miss, you will still land among the stars. So invest in yourself, learn, and you will grow. And yeah, that's wonderful.
That's brilliant, brilliant. And I think I need to contribute to this as well because, we run the women's leadership program 5 times a year. And yeah, I have a co-head tutor, so it's not me every time. But nevertheless, I learn something every time
Yeah.
I join the program as well. It's not just for the participants, it's for us as the tutors and assessors. We are also really um, open and, you know, grateful to hearing all of the stories and all the challenges and all of the successes that our participants have as well. And with that in mind, I also feel very open to personal development. And I'm just back this week from something called the Windsor Leadership Dialogue. I was located in Windsor Tower for the Monday and Tuesday, not because I was doing something wrong, but actually having a really privileged opportunity to talk among peers very openly about the leadership challenges, and the theme was about leading in the never normal. And one of the images that I've come away with from that, which I want to work on this year, is the idea of the helter skelter, and this idea that it's very quick and very easy under gravity to sink to the bottom and get into a bit of a spiral of gloom about the challenges that we're facing around the world. But actually, somebody said, but wasn't it always more fun as a child to try and, slowly, carefully climb your way back up the slide? And there was a real sense of achievement in that. And maybe we can see the fun in trying to open ourselves to the changes that are around in the world right now and seeing the opportunities for us to develop as leaders and to try to just shape the way the world is going right now. So I'm conscious of the time. I see we've had a few specific questions in around specific courses, which I can see that my colleagues in the background have been furiously working away at. Let me just make sure there aren't any other questions for us as a panel. William, you have so beautifully given us your 3 words as a summary for today. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let me just check, Louisa and Ellen, would you add 3 words to those?
I would say believe in yourself. It's not 3 words, but believe. Oh, it is 3 words. So yes, I'd say believe in yourself. Yeah, you can do everything.
Lovely.
The new comfortable you.
The new
I don't know if it's the right word in English. Comfortable you.
comfortable you. Okay, lovely. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, stretch the comfort zone, get out there and be a whole new you. That's wonderful. So I don't think I'm seeing any other questions that we need to answer, but maybe my colleagues in the background can give me a shout if not. But otherwise, I would really like to hand over to Peter, who's been furiously answering questions I can see in the typed chat. And he runs our Elumni community. And I know you wanted to say a few words about what opportunities we've got for you.
Hello, thank you, Karen. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful. I just wanted to thank Karen, William, and Ellen for speaking. It's fantastic. And Louisa as well. I want to thank you all for participating. The alumni community is a fantastic and very diverse global community of over 50,000. We have several ways of engaging and networking. We have a closed LinkedIn group and we have an online platform. Um, I put in the chat the email to get in touch if you have any questions about the how to join either one. We have several online events throughout the year, and then in June we have an in-person celebration event as well in Oxford, which is exciting. And so if you haven't gotten our newsletters, please email us so that we can figure out why you haven't got the newsletters. And again, I just wanted to thank Louisa, Alan, and William for everything that you do. These are exactly the kind of alumni that I love to celebrate, folks that want to come back and not only engage with us, but engage with future alumni as well as fellow alumni, because it is a community and it is a community that never ends. It's kind of ongoing. So, Louisa, William, and Ellen, you are wonderful examples of just what our alumni community is at its best. So, again, thank you so much. And as I said, I left my email in the chat, so please email me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. And I think we had another of the Oxford colleagues who was going to come in and tell us a little bit more about that 20% discount offer.
Hi, Karen. Thank you very much. I'll take care of the same. Really, it was a absolutely wonderful session and a very insightful one. I'd again like to thank you, Louisa, William, and for the session. So, yes, at the moment we are having a 20% discount running, which is our New Year, New You campaign. So the code is there in the chat, which is NY20, that you can apply and you will get access to the 20% discount for all our online programs. Apart from that, if you have any other questions that are not like answered in the particular chat or in this particular discussion, so we also have a consultation call as well with our senior program consultant team. So you can definitely go ahead, book a one-on-one consultation with us, and the respective senior program consultants will help you out on the same. Thank you very much. Over to you, Karen,
Thank
if
you.
you have any closing statements. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And just thank you so much. I put my thanks in the chat to all of you who are there in your locations around the world listening in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you join us. Big thanks to Louisa, William, and Ellen for sharing your experiences of learning with us. And I really hope to see some of you, all of you, coming through some kind of an Oxford programme during the course of 2026. Really make this the new year, new you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone for the time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.